accidentally trod in something, yeah? Great. Well, it's finally sunny. In this episode, we're going to party with the Beatles. We investigate the British slave trade. And Liverpool with a championship. I don't even like football that much, but I do kind of support Liverpool because my friends did, and it's heavy metal football, and I like heavy metal music. So, welcome to Liverpool. I've found a nice grassland area, but Liverpool is much more than that. What a rich and deep history we have here. One that maybe got its successes from dark corners of humanity, but also some really positive stuff too. Of all of the cities that I've visited so far, Liverpool is the most alive. It's not like we're looking forward to it like Sunderland is fully talking about the future. Birmingham is like, we're in the service sector now. We used to do this, but now we kind of do this because this is what people need. Liverpool still feels like it's happening in the olden days in the present day. And there's something to be said about that when you're walking around the streets just of an afternoon. You can see the people out at the pubs, the music that's always being played, the vibe that's there. But I think that also has something to do with the fact that 70% of the population of Liverpool can be related back to the Irish, and there is not a place I have been on this planet that the Irish weren't there and having great crack, as they would say. It's just I guess it's in the Irish to be great storytellers, to be great conversationalists, and to have a good time. And that link over the sea to Ireland really does shine forth beautifully strongly. We've gone through many parts of history. The Saxons, the Normans, the Industrial Revolution, various different ways in which the country has had its ups and downs. Only in the 80s it wasn't doing great, but there's been a massive surge of regeneration, and a lot of money is recently be coming into the town because of the contracts that they've been getting on the river. Just to go a little bit deeper into that, the world's largest private cruise company, Global Ports Holding, have announced a 50-year lease in Liverpool at the docks for building ships. There's jobs galore for people that can do shipbuilding, and Liverpool has a huge history of that. Birkenhead Shipyard has won the contract to make 2 Scottish vehicle and passenger ships, and Peel Ports Group will be building a new survey ship that's heading to the Arctic. So they're going to look at global warming and the polar ice caps and how things are evolving there. So Liverpool was the about 1190 was the first time we get sort of Liverpool as one word. It comes from the Old English liver being sort of sluggish water where 2 rivers met, and then it meets and gets a bit sluggish, and the pool of water there. It also has a mythological vibe of the liver bird, which is taken from an eagle and a cormorant mixed together. So this bird doesn't actually exist. And we have the liver building. We have the 2 liver birds on top of the building, Bertie and Bella. Bella is looking out to sea to see if the ships are coming in, and Bertie is looking inland to see if the pubs are open. But with these 2 birds sat on top of the building, they are the only 2 liver birds in the world, and they've never mated. So there they are, standing proud for all to see to this day. If you then just jump across, there's another beautiful building there, which is actually the headquarters of the White Star Line in the olden days, which was of course where the Titanic headquarters were. The Titanic itself was built over near Belfast with the 2 big cranes, Samson and Goliath, big giants. But it actually set sail from Liverpool across to the New World before it had its disastrous ending, as we've all seen. Jack, don't let go! Let go. The bosses at the White Star Line building were a little nervous when the news came in that Titanic, the unsinkable ship, had sunk, and rather than going out to the public to read the names of the deceased, they decided to lock the doors, go up to the balcony and go, right, these are the people who've passed away, from the balcony because they were too scared to meet the public. The liver birds came into being in 1207 when King John gave Liverpool its royal charter. So it was only at that point made up of 7 streets. But of course, once you get the royal charter, people want to have stuff to do with you, and very quickly Liverpool started to grow. So up until that point, it had been trading around the coastal ports of England and Ireland and Wales, but now it had the opportunity to be able to go further afield to places like the West Indies and Africa, which is where, sadly, Liverpool's history as to why it's so successful may have the footing in slavery. To talk about slavery, I did want to go to the Slavery Museum to be able to show elements of it. Unfortunately, the museum is under renovation, and I don't really want to just start talking about things I don't fully know about on this topic, but you can visit the website, and if you ever go to Liverpool you can go and see the Maritime Museum, where they have an exhibition about the slavery period of time. But it was just, it's just one of those things, isn't it, that a city does really, really well. Why? For the rich who want to make more money. With all of the products that all the other towns and cities that were making, wool, iron, weapons, coal, they were able to come to Liverpool, get onto a ship. The ship was able to safely get to Africa. If you were going from Bristol, you'd come round and you'd get caught with Northern Europe. There's a lot of wars going on in Northern Europe, so Liverpool was able to go out and cut around the north of Ireland and off into the open seas, where on the 1st of December in 1699, William Clayton, who was a shipmaker, I'm just going to pause there, I'm trying to talk about something quite serious, and this little chap, hello, just making a little video. How are you? You having a good day? No? You enjoying the warm? Go on, Snowy. The first instance of slavery was by a chap called William Clayton on the 1st of December 1699. He took over a load of tobacco and sugar to the West Indies and bought a load of enslaved Africans, 220 of which were sold in Barbados. This is thought to be the first instance of British slavery. Between 1793 and 1807, when slavery was abolished, Liverpool accounted for 84.7% of the slave trade. You know, that's a lot of money coming through. That's a lot of ships being built off the back of actual humans. It never ceases to amaze me. Obviously in Liverpool, as these things are going through, child labour was happening. The man wanted people to work for him, so the workman situation was dire. Overcrowding, people living on top of each other, all so that the rich could have more money. Does anybody see anything that's similar to today there? Nothing seems to change. Those with the power hold all of the keys, and we that just want to eat and have a place to live end up having to do their bidding. So we've got this wonderful city. We've got loads of wonderful cities in a wonderful country, all built on the death and enslavement of other people. Is it worth it? Those at the top. Is it worth it? Really? To have your caviar, to have your partridge on a pear tree. You're a bunch of... During that time, 624,000 men, women and children were bought from Africa and sold worldwide, here in England and obviously over in the New World and the Caribbean. And debates still go on today. How do you say sorry enough? How do you say, look, it was a bad thing? We're getting into a time here, 2025, where things seem to be, or seemed to be going all right, but you know, Putin's just attacked Ukraine because of land. He wants more land. People still want land. These small people at the top, this upper echelon, want to control the masses and continue to suppress and subdue us. Well, we've got things like YouTube now, and we're able to have our own voice and communicate. Wait for bus to go past. Oh, it's a train. But as I've just paused because of that, I will mention that doing these videos for me is sort of like a diary entry for the later points in my life, where I get to look back and go, wow, I toured the UK doing all those wonderful theatres, seeing all those wonderful cities. So I'm going to keep doing this anyway. But if you'd like to just check if you've clicked like and subscribe and the bell to let you know when these videos do come up, it would mean the world to me, and it lets me know that you're enjoying the content that's going out. And as long as my health persists, I would like to keep making these videos. 1086, the Doomsday Book reports the first crossing of a ferry on the Mersey. Oh, ferry, cross the Mersey, 'cause this land is the place I love, and here I'll stay. Of course, Liverpool is synonymous, I think, mostly with the Beatles. Pressure seems to make diamonds, and in the 40s and 50s, post-war, there was a lull in Liverpool's success, and that pressure caused poverty and pain to be a part of daily life, and out of that music tends to come. So of course the Beatles with their Merseyside beat was something that really took the world by storm, and I don't think we've seen the likes of it since. What I do like is that just walking around the streets today, you still hearing Penny Lane is in my ear and in my... There's just musicians everywhere playing the music. The music's pumping out of each pub. Obviously, if you work there daily for your life, that may get a little bit, it's the same thing over and over again. Just being there, I was just in this sense of nostalgia and the joy. And of course, where they all started with Cilla Black, all right, be down there now in a minute, was at the Cavern Club. So I took a little visit there one afternoon to have a look and see how the vibe was there, and it was great. You see all of these historical elements, and on the wall, what I loved here was all the different musicians that have been to the Cavern over the years and paid their respects. And of course, the most famous musician I know, of course, Paris Hilton. You shouldn't be on the wall, Paris. What did you do? Come and sit on a drum kit? I don't know if it's going to change the framing, but got pins and needles. In 1834, the Duchess of Clarence, a ship, returned from China with its first influx of tea and a load of Chinese sailors. So those sailors ended up moving into Liverpool and creating the oldest Chinese community in England. But things can't have been that great, or maybe the lure of new islands or new lands seemed exciting. But between 1830 and 1930, 9 million, which last time I checked is the population of London, 9 million people went to the New World, which is interesting because it was in the 1800s that the gold rush happened and people were going out west, which links beautifully into the show that we are doing, Calamity Jane, set in a gold rush town. The Empire Theatre is absolutely gorgeous. Just a repeated honour to walk the boards that some of these people have walked. But here's a few. It was a beautiful stage, it was a beautiful vibe, and of course the Liverpudlians, as they're called, were very, very, very up for the show, and we had an absolutely great time. So thank you, people of Liverpool. Yeah, Liverpool, you rock! The time just seemed to go like that. There's a pub opposite the stage door called Mar Egerton's. I don't know if I got any footage of it, because as soon as I got there, a Guinness was in the hand, creamy points. And it was very, very good being that close to Ireland. There is something about a very good pint of Guinness. It just is like having an ice cream in a glass. Absolutely adore it. Get a little discount for being part of the theatre. And then, of course, some of the people who'd been to see the show would come and sit with us and have a chat in the bar afterwards. And a great time was had by all. And I think laughter makes time just go a lot quicker, doesn't it? And making friends. So, I just want to say a thumbs up to what was once known as the New York of Europe, Liverpool. So, next stop is going to be York, Jorvik. You see this beard here? My Viking heritage is going home. The Vikings did come to Liverpool too, but I'm going to save all of that chat until we get to York, because my word, is there a plethora of it. Right, I'm going to go off and find a creamy pint of Guinness, and I'll see you in the next one, which is York. Boom!